Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Asad and welcome back to this series of Python for everyone. I'm super excited because we are doing something called loops and we have covered quite a lot. Okay, so if you have been following my videos, you would know how we did loops in general. We used continue and break in the loops. If not, please refer back to the videos. Now what we're going to do is these three, which is nested, range and while. Nested is quite easy. If you remember the very first one, which we did, was we had a long list, let's say, right? And we had different elements in there, such as names, all those kind of things. But what if this time I don't just have list, but I have list inside a list? And let's say this is 2 and 3. The other one is maybe having some names. Am I missing some? Yes, I'm missing a quotation mark there. So, and let's say another one, having list of both names and also numbers. Let's say that this is what we have, right? Just to make it more elaborative, let me just put it like this. So if you notice, we have a big list, right? Which are highlighted right now. And within that, we have 3 lists inside, right? Now, like we did in the last one, let's say I want to say for each element in long list, print the element itself, right? Simple. If you're unsure, please refer back to the last video. I'm just doing for each element in that big list, print that element. So let's see what it does. It did the whole list as one element because remember in a list, everything is separated by a comma, right? But what if I wanted to print everything inside it separately? Well, as you might have guessed it, all I'll do is add another for statement. Now this time for, I can name it anything. I can even name small element. Now this time my big list is not a long list, rather element now, right? In element. So for this one, print small element. Now let's understand how it is going. It is a hierarchy, right? What it is doing is it is taking the long list, which is in this case this, right? Oops, this, and it is taking every single element in there, which are these, right? Now for the second thing, it is taking that each element, which are these now, and it is taking small element in that element, which will be now these 2, 3, Asad, Bilal, Fayaz, and 3, right? Oopsie there. So let me just put it there, regardless of what sequence they are. Now all I'm doing is I'm trying to print the smallest element in there. So let's see if I run this, what happens. As suspected, it printed 2 separate, 3 separate, Asad separate, Bilal, all of those separately. Let's compare it with if I was going to print the element now, right? So let's compare it. So did you notice here that it printed the big one first because that was the print statement of element, and in the next step I was trying to print even the smaller element in there. So this is how you can do nested element, which is printed out something which are list inside a list, right? But what if you don't even have any list or anything like that, but rather you just wanted to print, let's say, from 0 to 10, right? What then? Then you use something called range, right? So what I'll say for number, now I don't have to define a list. All I can say in range, range, and I can define a number, how much I want. I want from up till 10, right? All I'll do, print number. So let's just see what it prints out. If you notice, 0 all the way to 9, because remember Python starts with 0, right? And again, you can do a lot of things in this range, such as you can define the starting and the ending point. You could say, I want my list to start from 2, not 0. And for every interval of, let's say, 2 again, right? What if it does that? So let's say start sporting index. Am I doing it other way around, or am I doing it correct? Let's see. No, it's correct. So it started from 2 and it will end at 10. Remember, in Python, because we start from 0 number, so 10 means 9, right? So what it'll do is it write every number at 2 intervals. So 2, 4, 6, 8. In this case, I don't have to define any list prior to it. I can just simply use range to do that for me, right? So this is how you do it. Another quick way of using for loop if you don't have a list is using while. Now, how while works is, let's say I'll define a starting point. I'll say I is equal to 1 maybe, right? And I'll say while I is less than or equal to, I can define anything, 10 maybe, right? Print I. Now remember, if I do that right now, what will happen? It will read the first line, which is while I is less than or equal to 10. It is true because 1 is less than 10. It will print I. And then it will again run it because it is still while this condition is still true. If you run that, your Python will literally go an infinite loop over and over and over again. So what I'll do is, I'll say, if it is, then add 1 to it. Plus and equal is used when you want to add something at each interval. So now what it will do is, it will say I starting with 1. It is less than 10, yes. Then print it, it will. And then add 1 to it. Now I becomes 2. So it will go back. Now I is 2. 2 less than 10, yes. Print it and then add 1. 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So let's see what this prints out. There you go. So it started with 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way till 10, because I wrote is equal to 10 as well. So these are some of the things that you could do when you have nested list, which is list inside a list, and how to print it out. You could use a range one, which is writing their numbers if you don't have a list, or you could use a condition such as in while case. Go on, pause the video. I know I've covered a lot, but pause the video and try using all of them yourself and see what happens. Well done to those who managed to do it. For those who couldn't, like usual, place the comment below so we can discuss it and debug the code. Till then, take care, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.